welcome to your primetime news bulletin here on MTV Sports on this special day, 12-12-12. I'm Krishna Panditharatna.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Nadim Majid. Let's start off with a look at your headlines. The UNP calls on the government to allow a committee of judges named by the Commonwealth General Secretary to review the PSA report on the impeachment motion. Many protests against the impeachment of the Chief Justice today as well. The Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka cuts policy interest rates. And in global headlines, Maestro Ravi Shankar passes away.
A meeting to discuss development of the beach from Golf's Green to Mount Lavinia was held at Temple Trees last evening. President Mahinda Rajapaksa presided at the meeting.
A communique issued by the President's media unit stated that plans have been made to beautify the stretch of beach and prevent coastal erosion. The project is to be completed in 3 years and is estimated to cost $25 million. The communique issued by the President's media unit notes that practical implementation of the project and the steps that need to be taken were also discussed at this meeting.
Well, the impeachment motion against Chief Justice Dr. Shirani Bandaranaike is a keenly followed topic these days. Now, as a result of this impeachment motion, lawyers in many places across the country kept away from work today as well. Meanwhile, members of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka gathered in the Supreme Court premises this morning to express their protest over the manner in which the impeachment motion was examined.
The lawyers commenced today's protest from opposite the Supreme Court premises. They then engaged in a march carrying various placards criticizing the impeachment process. Thereafter, the protesters exited the court complex and continued their protest. The Bar Association is conducting an island-wide protest from 9 a.m. this morning to 10 a.m. against the process adopted in examining the impeachment motion against the Chief Justice. Meanwhile, a large number of our member associations have decided to refrain from work today. This is not a struggle against the government or the President. This is a struggle to protect an institution. We are fighting to create an independent judiciary. We will not give up this battle till we achieve victory. They have treated the Chief Justice in a very insulting manner. They not only insulted the Chief Justice through this, they insulted the entire judiciary. The President has said three things. One is that there is a doubt whether he can accept this report according to his conscience. The other is that a clear message has been sent to those who function in parliamentary committees based on the notion that Parliament is supreme, that it is in fact not supreme. The third is that the President has accepted that the report is flawed.
Meanwhile, judicial activities in many areas across the country came to a standstill today. This was as a result of lawyers refraining from work in protest over the outcome of the impeachment probe against the Chief Justice.
Protests were held opposite the Kaluthura Court complex in support as well as against the impeachment motion. A tense situation arose between two groups of protesters. If the government treats the fourth citizen of this country in this manner, then we don't need to speak about the freedom of the common man. We are saying that the law of the land is equal to everyone, be it the Chief Justice or a lawyer. Meanwhile, a religious ritual was performed in Putlam today seeking justice for the Chief Justice. Meanwhile, a large number of people were inconvenienced by today's protests. We come here, waste our time and go back. None of the courts at the Mount Lavinia Court complex, be it the Civil Appeals Court, the District Court or the High Court, are operational. The Bar Association has also decided to create public awareness by distributing leaflets in line with the decisions reached yesterday. The lawyers in Polonnaruwa expressed their protest through a motor rally.
Either the judges are not here or the lawyers are not here.
On a related note, the United National Party says that it is focusing its attention on the statement made by President Mahinda Rajapaksa that he would appoint an independent committee to review the findings of the Parliamentary Select Committee examining the impeachment motion brought against the Chief Justice.
Issuing a statement, UNP General Secretary Tissa Attanayake said that the three charges that the Chief Justice is said to have been found guilty of should be reviewed through the appointment of an independent and impartial committee based on the Latimer House Declaration of the Commonwealth. The United National Party reiterates that the committee that is to be appointed under the instructions of the President should not only be independent but should also be impartial. The UNP General Secretary notes that according to the Latimer House Declaration of the Commonwealth, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association could appoint a committee consisting of judges of his choice. The UNP charges that the government is utilizing the provisions of the Constitution pertaining to impeachment to fulfill its petty political goals and to extract personal revenge. The communique issued by the UNP further states that it is the expectation of the party that the President will respect Commonwealth tradition and appoint an independent and impartial committee consisting of a group of judges named by the Secretary General of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association to review the Parliamentary Select Committee report on the impeachment motion against the Chief Justice.
Meanwhile, issuing a statement, UNP Deputy Leader Sajid Premadasa says that if the President hopes to appoint an independent commission to review the PSC report on the impeachment of the Chief Justice, then that committee should comprise of well-known, well-educated and universally respected judges and not another group of party henchmen, hangers-on and cheap politicians.
Now, various views were expressed today as well on the impeachment motion against the Chief Justice.
The
President says that he was not in favor of bringing forward this motion. He is now saying that 116 parliamentarians signed this even when he opposed it. We can see that he has betrayed the 116 parliamentarians. He is now saying that all this will be investigated by an independent committee. This is not something that is stated in our constitution. When the backbone of the judiciary, parliament and the media is broken and all these are brought under one person, that is what we call a dictatorship. Will these 7 cabinet ministers commit suicide? The President is saying that he must be satisfied. So what he is saying clearly is that he is not satisfied with the report furnished by these 7 persons. Now there is a new issue within the government because Ministers D.W. Gunasekara, Vasudeva Nanayakkara and Tissa Vitarana have clearly come forward and said that they will not be party to this. This clearly shows that this is a government without any program or any direction. Do not let small things grow into big issues. The executive, legislature and judiciary should not fight with each other. They should work together and serve the people. I request the President to appoint an independent commission to investigate the issue like he proposed to.
Meanwhile, United National Party parliamentarian Karu Jayasuriya says that he is happy about the statement made by the President yesterday, but he would appoint an independent committee to review the findings of the Select Committee that examined the impeachment motion against the Chief Justice before making any decision. Now, Karu Jayasuriya expressed this view at a media briefing held today.
එහෙම තීරණයක් එතුමා ගත්තේ ඒ දෝෂාභියෝගය මුලින් පරීක්ෂා කරපු ආකාරය තුල යම්කිසි වැරැද්දක්.
He made such a decision because there was a problem in the manner in which the impeachment motion was investigated. We observed in the President's speech that the chairman of the NSP had committed a wrong and that the President had not taken any action. We don't know why he didn't take any action. We are of the opinion that if a person commits a wrong, that person should be punished. No matter what their status is, if someone commits a wrong, action should be taken. They should prove their innocence. If they are considered as criminals before they prove themselves innocent, then there could be many reasons behind it. Today the legislature is under the power of the executive. No matter what decisions are made by the legislature, today the executive can change them.
තවත් කරුණු බොහෝ ගන්නක් ඇති. අද ව්‍යවස්ථාදායක හිම් පිටින්ම විධායකයේ අධිසරණයකට යටත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ව්‍යවස්ථාදායකය මොන තීන්දුවක් ගත්තත් වර්තමාන තත්ත්වය අනුව විධායකයට පුළුවන් වෙනස් කරන්න.
Retired High Court Judge WMTB Varaveva says that politicians are responsible for the present state of institutions in this country. He made this statement during a conference held in Matara yesterday.
ඒ දේශපාලඥයෝ පොලිසියේ තත්ත්වේ නැති කරා මැතිවරණ කොමිසමේ තත්ත්වේ නැති කරා.
Politicians destroyed the reputation of the police, the Elections Commission, the Public Service Commission as well as the Human Rights Commission. Now they are attempting to destroy the reputation of the judiciary as well. The politicians hope that by doing this, we will deliver rulings in their favour. Are we to allow the judiciary to fall to such a state? There are around 160 in Parliament. How did they choose this select committee? 7 members from the ruling party together with 4 members of the opposition. This is not fair. At first glance, you can say that the ruling will be partisan towards the government. Why? Because the parliamentarians in power today are ones who have studied in schools for the deaf and dumb. They do not speak a single word, but they always have their hand raised.
Meanwhile, the lawyers for the Chief Justice have issued a media release on her behalf.
The release issued by the lawyers of the Chief Justice states that the media has quoted the government members of the Parliamentary Select Committee as having stated that they have found the Chief Justice Dr. Shirani Bandaranaike guilty of the first, fourth and fifth allegations in the impeachment motion, while exonerating her of the second and third allegations. The release states that the Chief Justice is yet to be issued a copy of the evidence and the findings of the government members of the Select Committee, and that it is understood that the report was submitted just hours after the government members of the Select Committee concluded hearing witnesses. It goes on to say that in fact, after the Chief Justice was informed that only documentary evidence will be used at the inquiry, after the Chief Justice walked out of the Select Committee, the very next day 16 witnesses were called and their evidence led without any notice to the Chief Justice and without making them available for cross-examination. Lawyers of the Chief Justice point out that it is noteworthy that even when evidence was led ex parte, yet there was no evidence to justify allegations 2 and 3, which were made without supporting evidence, and the question arises as to the basis on which 117 members of Parliament signed the impeachment motion putting forward the said charges. Furthermore, the release states that the government members of the Parliamentary Select Committee have also stated that they will not even look into the charges bearing numbers 6 to 14, although the Select Committee was mandated by the Speaker to look into all charges, including the said charges numbered 6 to 14. The release issued by the lawyers of the Chief Justice states that it is hoped that suitable action would be taken against the aforesaid parties for framing charges against a sitting Chief Justice which could not even be maintained at an ex parte hearing. The release also notes that the Chief Justice will, as soon as the report of the government members of the Select Committee is made available, respond to the findings, demonstrate that the findings are incorrect and that she is innocent of the charges.